Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'll actually be making a tutorial over like the boxes that are at the top of my I guess live stream overlay or border or whatever you want to call it. I had a lot of questions yesterday on live stream, so I decided to make a tutorial over it. Now I will be making a tutorial I promise to make after maybe this one or the second one after that because I really want to get to that graphics overlay, not graphics overlay, but graphics folder. So you guys can actually start making graphics and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial I'm making today. And the tutorial I'm making today, let's go ahead and go to my desktop and see what we're going to be doing today. So let's go ahead and open my overlay. This is actually the tutorial I made before this. It was pretty crappy, so I went ahead and deleted it. It was actually like 20 minutes long, and I expect this tutorial not to be that long. So now that we have my overlay open, let's go ahead and look at this. Now if you can see under the sponsor box, hang on. If you can see under the sponsor box, I have these boxes going on there. And now actually I can show you guys how to do the I guess sharp edges box under my sponsor box as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're actually going to do is open up a new project. Maybe we can call the project box tutorial. So let's go up here to File, New, or Control N. I like to use all my shortcuts. So while I make my tutorials, I'll show you guys all the shortcuts I use. Let's go ahead and go to File, New, and make the width and height 500 by 500. Now, some of the things you actually want to do when you make your project is maybe rename it. So let's go up here to the name and rename this box tutorial. And some other things you need to realize is if you're ever making anything on the web, make sure these are set to pixels. Now I know if you're making like, I don't know, like a worksheet or something, you could change these to inches or centimeters or anything like that, but I like to keep these on pixels when I'm making a web image like a Twitch overlay. So I'm going to keep these on pixels for today. And then another thing you want to make sure you have open is actually RGB color. If you have this set to grayscale, this is actually going to make everything, all your colors to gray, so let's not have that selected. Let's go ahead and have it on RGB. Now I know some printers like to use CMYK. Now the only reason I think everyone uses CMYK for printers and everything, it actually prints out the colors better. So if you're going to go ahead and print this out, use CMYK. But today we're going to be using RGB. Now what RGB stands for is actually red, green, blue. So if you weren't running that, I guess you know now. So let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial, guys. So go ahead and push OK. Now we have a really cool space to work with, so let's go ahead and make a new layer by this little tool down here on your bottom right hand corner and rename it box. Now some neat technique that I like to use to make like the sharp edged box. Now if you guys actually, these are random names that I actually applied to these boxes, I guess. If you guys have a better name than my name, I guess, because my name's actually really, I guess, unprofessional. So if you guys would like to post in the comment section below, not selection. I've been working in selections all day long, so comment section below. If you guys would like to comment in the section, my bad, section below, you guys could actually, you're probably asleep. I'm actually recording a tutorial right now. Hey. That's cool. Anyways, guys, let's go back to this. If you guys would like to comment in the section below, go ahead and do that, and tell me a name that you would like to be used for my like boxes I use like on most of my overlays and most of my I guess like graphics and stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right back into this tutorial. Let me move this out to the side just in case he messages me anymore. And what I call on-screen and off-screen. On-screen is actually this white box or whatever you're working with, and like is inside the black, I guess, outline. This is actually your project that you made, and off-screen is actually this gray area. Now I know the colors are probably different, whether or not you change your background color, or if it's transparent, or you added a gradient overlay, maybe some layer styling. And I know if you change, I know in PSCC, I think, is what some of my viewers have. I know this is probably like really dark gray or black or maybe even orange, whatever color you change it to. But outside the black line, I know this is the same in every Photoshop. Outside the black line is what I call off-screen, and this is what I call in-screen. So what we're actually going to do is go off-screen and click on off-screen and make a dot. Now this is actually your first dot of the path that you're going to make with your pen tool. So what we're going to do is actually make like a slanted line on screen, and let's go ahead and hold shift and make our third dot, and then hold shift. Now by holding shift, this will actually make a straight line. So let's hold shift again and go off screen. So once we've made our 4 dots, go ahead and connect them all by clicking on your first dot. Right click, make a selection, and this will make the box thing you guys see in most of my overlays and everything. Now I know we didn't make the second slanted line, but let's be honest here. If I made the second slanted line, there's a very slight possibility. I mean, I'm a perfectionist and I'll make this every time. No, I'm just joking. But if we made a second slanted line, it wouldn't be the same as our first slanted line. So let's go ahead, since we have our selection now. The reason why we made a new layer, if we did it on our first background layer, for one, we haven't unlocked it yet, so let's go ahead and unlock it. To unlock it, just double click and then push OK. And now this is actually a rasterized layer, so now we actually can mess around with it. But if we went ahead and filled this in with our paint bucket tool on our first layer, on layer 0, or our background, if we tried to hide it or anything, it would actually have merged these two layers together. Let's go ahead and show you guys actually what would happen. So if we went ahead and filled this in our layer 0, and then Control D to deselect, and tried to hide this or move it around or anything with our selection tool up here, it actually formed those two layers together. So let's go ahead and push Control Z to undo that. Now after you guys push Control Z once to undo that, to undo anything is actually Control Z. Control Alt Z is what you have to push after you've already used Control Z once. So I hope you guys understand that. So actually, since we have this now all messed up and everything, let's go ahead and delete our background. So you guys might have gotten a message. Just go ahead and click don't show this message anymore and click OK to delete anything. Now another technique there's a ton of techniques to do everything in Photoshop. Another technique to delete stuff instead of just pushing this while you have that layer selected is go ahead and drag whatever layer you want to delete down to your trash can. Now it won't let me delete this layer because this is the only layer we have in our project. So what we're actually going to do is redo the selection with our pen tool. So let's go ahead and make that path again, make like a slanted line, hold shift to make another straight line, and go off screen by holding shift to make another dot. Now let's go ahead and click combine all these layers together, right click, make a selection, and then go ahead and fill this in. Now this actually is actually whatever color this fills in is actually your first foreground color down here on the left bottom hand side, if you want to call it that. This is actually your first foreground color. Now to switch these, it's actually this little arrow right here, and then you can actually change your second foreground color, and then that will change what color this actually fills in. But I don't worry about this too much because I could just make this black, I guess, and like fill it in, because this actually might have the color that you have selected right now is black and white. Now to change these always back to black and white, let's say that we get all mixed up, and then this is actually like yellow, and this is actually like red, and we want black and white again. Just click these two boxes, and then I'll change that back to black and white. So what we're going to do now is that you fill this in with black, because it doesn't really matter what color you change it in. Because what we're going to do is Control D to deselect, and then duplicate this layer, and push OK, and then go up here to Edit Transform, and then flip this horizontally. Now as you guys can see, if you use your selection tool and hold down shift to keep this on the same line, and move it to the right, as you can see we have the same slant now, and now it's not looking all crooked or anything. It looks perfect. So what we can do now is actually hold shift, and then push Control E, and then actually we can like hide this or whatever. Now anytime you guys have like a checkered background or checkered spot on your project, that's actually transparent. It's completely see-through. So now this is actually completely blank. So if we added a new background and added that in, it wouldn't be blank. So once we have this, I guess, sharp edge box for now, that's what I'm going to call it until I get a new name to call it. Once we have this actually made, what I did actually to combine these together. Now, as you can see, if we move this one, it's only going to move half of it. Let's go ahead and push Control Z. If we hold shift to select the second box, we can actually push Control E, and it will combine those two layers together. Now we can hide this or move it down and do whatever we want with it. So once we have that done, we can actually move it on to the second part of the tutorial. Now the second part of the tutorial is actually the, let's go back to my overlay. It's actually these boxes up here. So if you guys would like to make these boxes to actually do this, the reason why I'm combining these both in the same tutorial is actually it's basically the same technique to use. So we're actually going to use our pen tool again. So what we're going to do is actually make one dot, and then actually let's go ahead and make a new layer so we don't combine this with this layer, and then it'll be on the same layer and it'll move around and do everything together. So let's not do that. Make our first dot on a new layer. Let's go ahead and rename this, I guess, slanted box, if you guys want to call it that. Slanted box. Let's go ahead and go back to our layer and then make our second dot. Let's go ahead and hold shift so we don't have a slanted line. So this will actually make a straight line. And then go to the left of your second dot and then make a dot above both of these. And let's go to the left of our first dot. Let's hold shift so it makes a straight line. And then go back to our first dot. Now, as you guys can see, we actually did a pretty good job on making an exact slant. But if we actually go ahead and make a selection, push OK, and then fill this in with another black layer, and push Control D to deselect. If we actually see this and it's off slanted a little bit, what you guys can actually do is go to the bottom. Let's go ahead and push Control plus to zoom in. And then we actually can go to the bottom and then maybe edit the slant a little bit by going around about like, whoops, my bad. Hang on. Let me go ahead and delete this and make a new dot, I guess, and then make another path. And then we actually can like keep selecting and like try to get our like perfect, I guess, slant here. And you actually can like hold Control Z. Well, keep pushing Control Z to like get a perfect slant. Now I think this is actually pretty nice. Or if you guys want to make this a little bit smaller, this is what you can do now. Oh, again too. And let's go ahead and make our selection around this. Now by making our path around this left side of our, I guess, slanted box here, and then connect all your paths, and then right click and make a selection. And what we're going to do is push Control X to actually delete that part. So now as you can see, my slant was actually pretty good before, but now I actually just made it smaller. And that's actually the same technique you guys can use to fix your slant on your box. Now what you guys can do is if you guys want to edit this into any overlays you do, what you can do is actually push Control T, and then you can resize this. And that's pretty cool. So once you guys have all this done and good, you guys can put this to this is actually the technique I just wanted to show you guys today. You guys can actually add this to whatever you want. So once you guys have that done, actually I'm not going to show you guys how to do any layer styling. Actually, I'll make a whole entire tutorial over layer styling. So if you guys would like to go watch that, that would be awesome. So, because the only reason I'm not going to do in this tutorial, because then it'll take like another 20 minutes, and I've already had this tutorial go to 12 minutes and 35 seconds so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something, and I'm out. Peace. And actually, if you guys would like to come check me out on my live stream, if you guys aren't already followed on there, or my Twitter, I'll have those links in the description if you guys would like to come check me out there. Actually, I do free graphics on my live stream, so if you guys would like to come check me out there or learn something, that would be pretty cool. And I guess I'm out, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever tutorial. So